Welcome back to the shop, guys. The Supercharged C5 and I made it to the drag strip last Saturday, and as usual, had a wonderful time. It was a perfect day, starting out at 65 degrees in the morning with minimal wind and warming up to about 80 degrees by mid-afternoon. Since it wasn't a major race weekend, I was able to get in as many runs as I wanted, and along the way, I met a few new Corvette guys as well. We're gonna get into all of that and a whole lot more in just a second.
Toys for Life.
On my way to the track, I always pass by this little country church, and it makes me smile. All right, we got the tech inspection out of the way. Let's go make a pass. This guy was next to me all day long with a full drag race Camaro capable of full wheelies, which we'll see in a minute. But as I approach the staging lanes, take a look at how quiet this is, almost eerily quiet. I was able to make as many runs as I wanted. In this case, I made 8. Because what I like to do is make a pass, then I come back, I open up the hood and everything to start letting things cool off. I analyze my scan, and if I want to, which I usually do, I tweak the timing or the fuel or something, put the new program in, stretch my legs, and it's half an hour has passed, and it's time to make another pass. So let's get going here on my first pass of the day. And this one taught me one thing, that's for sure. When you go a full year plus since your last time racing at the drag strip, your 60-foot time is pretty rotten. And let me tell you, the prep track, as you can see, it's a real shiny, but it's a sticky surface. It's much different than launching on the street, that's for sure. So let's make a pass and see how things go. That felt a little pokey off the line, but it was fun. At my track, there's 2 turnoffs. The first one for the slower cars right here by the ambulance. There's another one here towards the end, and if you can't make it, well, you've always got the sand and the big soft barriers at the end that are more than willing to slow you down. So anyway, we head back up here, back towards the pits. And like I said, you've got the ambulance service here waiting for some action. And all my years of being here, I've only seen him go out once, and some guy lost his brakes and did get introduced to the barriers. A little bit further up here, you've got the usually ladies on the left that hand you your time slip. I always give them a tip at the end of the day because they do a nice job for us. And let's head back to the pits. And once we get in here, we'll park it, open everything up, and let's take a look at our time slip and a scan of that run. The time slip never lies. 0.561 reaction time is an F, 60-foot time of 2.37, also an F, but I do need to improve on that because that just shows I haven't been here in over a year. And then I look at the quarter mile speed, which is 130. That's pretty good. That's indicative of around 525, 530 horsepower at the rear tires. And the quarter mile elapsed time of 11.97, that's kind of slow for that speed, mainly because the 60-foot time is so horrible. So here's a scan of my run. You can see when I left the line, it's kind of feathering the throttle right around 25 to 30%. Definitely not a good launch, so don't copy this. As we went through first gear, we didn't have any tire spin or shake, so that part's good. And I shifted at about 6,400 RPMs. And this is the little gap here. That's how much time it took you to shift. You can actually measure this if you want. I'm pretty satisfied with this. I'm sure there's guys out there that can do it a lot quicker, but the important thing is not to miss a shift because then your whole run is screwed. All the way through second gear here, inlet air temps after the supercharger have gone up to 86. They started out at 82. What I'm really watching, most importantly, is this air-fuel ratio. Again, I'm using Lambda, and I want it to be somewhere around 0.77 to 0.79. That's around 11.5 to 1 on an air-fuel calibration, and that's pretty steady. It stays right where I want it to be all the way through second. Decent little shift there. Same thing here. Now we're up to 95 degrees. The air heats up. The intercooler starts to heat up as you're going down the track because it's getting pretty hot air compressed into it. And so that's why you'll see it heat up from 82 to 86 to 97 to 108. And that's fine. Without an intercooler, it'd be much higher than that. So all the way through third gear, timing's at about 16.5 degrees. And as it heats up, it does start to pull timing. Again, I'm happy with the air-fuel ratio. We're still at 16.5. Then we get into fourth gear. Timing drops down to 15 degrees because the inlet air temperatures are heating up to 107. So the other thing I'm really watching is knock retard, and I haven't got any of it at all. So I've got a little room to either go a little leaner or a little more timing. In this case, the change I'm going to make is I'm going to change it so that when it heats up to 108, I'm still getting 16 to 16.5 degrees. So I'll show you that here. What I'm going to do is open up the HB Tuners program. Guys, just a quick ask. Videos like this take quite a bit of work. If you're getting something out of the video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button and the thumbs up. And I've already got the program for my engine opened. I'll go into Engine, Spark, and then there's this inlet air temp area. And the idea here is that as the intake air temps warm up, this is the amount of timing that is pulled from the equation. And so what I already did here is in the 104 and 113 columns, I reduced these 1.5 degrees, and I think that this is going to help out a lot. And the next step, of course, is just to go in, connect it to the vehicle, and then we'll write it to the car's computer. Fun sidebar, on the way to the track, this Mustang here on your left tried to race me at a stop sign. Of course I declined, because why race on the street when you're going to the track? Well, as it turns out, he could use a little practice, it seems. Next up, we got lined up against a bracket racer, and my new friend, a C7 guy, was there doing some video work, and he was kind enough to record this and send it to me, so I appreciate that, Chris. Anyhow, back to the race against the bracket racer. They have a different purpose than we do. They are trying to get consistent elapse times and get it down to like the 100th of a second. And us knuckleheads, we're just trying to go as fast as we can with our daily drivers. So this was kind of fun. Now, to be fair, if I had gotten lined up against my Camaro buddy here, well, let's just say things probably wouldn't go my way. Time to see if our tuning changes made a difference. And we gained about 1/2 mile per hour. This was still pretty early in the day. As the day wore on, the temperature gained another 10 plus degrees, so this ended up being the fastest mile per hour of the day. But wait, here's the Z06 with nitrous. It's Chris's car. Earlier in the day, did I mention how friendly people are here? Earlier in the day, he ran a low 130-ish, I believe, but in this pass, he had a small nitrous explosion, and it wrecked his whole run. We caught up with Chris a little bit later to look at the damage. Not too major. That's never good, right? Have you ever seen a Mercedes-Benz with nitrous? You have now. I spotted this C6 ZR1 Blue Devil in the parking lot, but he didn't race. This C6, however, did race, and he had a modified LS3 cammed. I can't remember the supercharger he had, but much larger than the one that I have. And for this run, he filled up the tank for his water-to-air intercooler with ice to really get those inlet air temps down. And I would say it worked quite well. Guys, there's 3 main reasons that I go to the track. Number 1, it's a way to show you all of the different performance mods that we've done over the last couple years. I can flap my gums and tell you how well things work, or we can just go to the track and see exactly how they work. That way you can decide if it's worth it to you to perform some or all of these modifications. Number 2, it lends credibility to those videos. So if you're thinking about doing some of those mods, you can take a peek at those videos, decide if you can handle it yourself, or maybe it's too much and you want to pay somebody to do it. And number 3, it's just plain fun. So guys, I hope you learned something from this video. If you did, please hit the thumbs up and subscribe. Get out there and support your local track. I promise you, you'll have a lot of fun. And as always, thanks for watching.